Hello and welcome. My name is Jennifer and I love to DIY things, and I always like to put a little spin on something that makes it easier. And today I'm going to show you how to make these folders that go around your traveler's notebook inserts that have pockets in them so you can hold your little things. And it has this handy dandy little pen loop. So you can use these in absolutely any traveler's notebook if you want to have an added pen loop. If your traveler's notebook already has a pen loop and you want another pen loop, this is a great way to do it. I've been doing it like this for a long time and haven't had any problems with it at all. I'm going to show you how to reinforce it. I'm going to show you how to make it look tight, neat, and wrinkle-free. And so let's get started. The first one I'm going to make for you is a great big one for my husband because he claimed this piece of leather for himself. It has a big scar right here and he really likes it. And he has just a single insert in here. So I'm going to make him a folder that has a pen loop so that he always has a pen loop with him. And let's see what we can do. So I don't like to measure anything. So you don't need a ruler. I have it because it's a straight edge and I will use it for drawing straight edges. You're going to need some glue. I have an all-purpose glue, and then I have Fabrifix, which is an acetone-based glue. I love this stuff. It's great. I did put it in a Sugar Bell icing squeezy thing because it just works better in there. Highly recommend you do that. You're going to need some packing tape and a pair of scissors. And then if you have a quarter rounder, you're going to need that. You're also going to need some decorative paper. Okay, so that's all the things that you're going to need. Now I'm going to take the insert the size that I need. And I'm going to find some paper that would look good for Mark. He's not really a butterfly kind of guy, so butterfly and roses. You know what, though? As a kid, he did collect stamps, so I'm going to use this one. This is 12 by 12, and I'm only going to use one sheet. I might have to go in for more for the pen loop part, but let's see what we're working with first. Okay, so the first things first is fold it in half, making sure that your right side is up. So I just fold it in half. You can use a bone folder. I don't have one with me right now, so I'm just going to use my fingers. Trust me, it's perfectly fine. Okay, so I folded it in half, but we do have a little bit left over here, and that's exactly what we need. We need that, and then we have this over here, so that's perfect. So open it up onto the inside, and then we're going to place this along the fold, and we're going to match it up along the top. And then we're going to mark it. Turn it this way so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so we want it to be in that fold. Okay, and then we're going to mark it. I'm using a pink pen so that you can see it pretty well. We're going to mark it on that side, and then we're going to mark it on this side. Okay, and then I'm also going to slide down here and mark here because I want to fold it along this line here. Okay, so there we have our measurements without using a ruler, and it should be equal on each side. So the next step is to fold on this line, and I like to fold it backwards so I can see where the line is. So I just fold it up until I see the line, make sure that it's straight. Okay, so there we have it folded on the line, and then you can fold it back up. Okay, that's great. And I will need to go in for more for the pen loop because I'm using the entire sheet. So just keep that in mind when you're making this for yourself. Okay, and now what we need to do is we need to fold this one. Okay? And just remember, when you're making these, you're making it with love, not perfection. So don't get too hung up on how perfect it is, because it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be functional. And, you know, just do the best that you can. Okay, so that's folded. Come over here and let's fold this one. Okay. You can do this with any folder pattern that you have, that you love, that you've already used. As long as you have this part that folds in on the sides, that's what's most important for adding the pen loop. You need that. It's an absolute must. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I need this piece here, but I don't need this piece right here. So I'm going to cut it off, and I'm going to do it kind of at an angle on this side, like about a 45-degree angle. And then I'm going to cut inside the fold line over on this side, and we're just going to cut that off all the way up to that angle. Okay, so that piece should look like that. And then let's go over here and do it again. I'm going to cut it off. I love crafting. I love DIY. And I love sharing that. So I hope that you guys like watching this. If you do, give me a like. That helps me out more than you could ever know. Okay, and then the next thing I want to do is I want to cut this at an angle. So fold it in half, okay? Fold it in half, and then make sure that the fold line is over here to your right, or if you're left-handed, over to your left. It doesn't matter. As long as you're cutting, I would cut like 1/2 inch this way and then aim it toward that fold right there. So aim your scissors towards that and then cut. So that piece that you just cut off should look like this. Okay. And then when you open this, it should look like that. Everything is looking perfect. Okay. All right. Now we need another piece for the pen loop. And I am using a fairly heavyweight cardstock. I mean, it's not super heavyweight, but it's not lightweight. You don't want lightweight. And you can use pretty much any cardstock your heart desires. Okay, so that's kind of what the finished thing's going to look like. I do like to have kind of like rounded corners. So I will come in here and just round these a little bit because I just like the way that it looks. I think it looks better. There we go. Nice. Okay, so now let's make that pen loop. And I'm going to just set this over here for a sec. I'm going to go grab another piece of that paper. Luckily, this pad, I think, has 3 of each design. I think we used the stamps. There we go. This is from Hobby Lobby Paper Studio Ephemera. So that's the one. Buy it when it's on sale because Hobby Lobby puts their Paper Studio stuff on sale regularly. And that's what I recommend that you do. Okay, so with this, I don't need the whole piece. So I know that my pen loop, I will use this pen to size it with. I don't have the pen that he normally uses. So I don't know. I don't know, but I know that if I size it for this one, then whatever pen he's using will fit because he doesn't use really large pens. So I know that it needs to be about, well, I'll show you what I do. Okay, so I'm just going to stick my pen like that on the paper, and then I wrap it around like that, like so, like that, and then I'm going to take and mark it right there. Okay, and then I will measure just so that you know how long it is. I'm betting it's about 2.5 inches, almost 3 inches. It is almost exactly 3 inches. So I'm just gonna make it 3 inches. Again, you do not have to measure, but I have it, so I'm gonna use it. All right, and then I'm gonna cut it. You can use a paper cutter if you want to. But you're going to need a strip like this. does not have to be perfect. And then I have all this beautiful paper that I can use for another project. And I'm not going to even need all of this, but we do want it to match over here. Okay, so what a handsome looking fella. Also, I'm going to use my corner rounder before, and I do all 4 corners. So by rounding the corners over here, your elastic is going to have a place to rest, and it won't bunch up the folder. And you know, if you don't want to wrap it around an insert and you want to put it on on elastic all by itself, it's super helpful to have that little dip there for the elastic to go in. But anyway, I did that before I add the pen loop, because the pen loop kind of gets in the way of the corner rounder. Okay, so now let's make this pen loop. So I am just going to kind of measure, and I want it to be, you see where the corner rounds right there? And I want it to stop right here. So it starts at the corner round and it ends at the corner round. So we're going to stop it right there. I don't need it to be any bigger, and I do want it to be this big because if I make it smaller, then it's not going to be as strong. Okay, so now we have this, and I'm going to add a piece of tape right where I want right where I'm going to cut where the pen loop is going to be. So I want it above the center, and I'm going to put it about right here. Perfect. And that's just going to reinforce the paper and make it last longer. And you can add several layers of tape if you like. I just do the front and it works fine. I change these out often anyway because I like to have new stuff and make it look nice and different for the seasons or even the month sometimes. I love paper. I don't think I mentioned that before. I did. But anyway, I love paper, so to me it's not wasteful. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to fold it in half. Okay. All the way down. All right, and then because we have to have this pen in here, and we want it to fit even with that little bushing thing on there. So I know I need about a half an inch this way. I need that much space, which incidentally is about equal to that. So I will come in and say, okay, half an inch. And right here, let me see if it will transfer. Sometimes yep, it did. Lucky me, lucky me. All right, and then I want my pen loop to be right here, and I want it to be about an inch thick. So this is what I do. So I can see the tape from this side because there's a little bit hanging over. And I want it to be from here to here about. So I'm just going to take my ruler, make sure you can see what I'm doing, and line it up so that it's straight. Okay. And I want my pen loop to be about, I want it to be about an inch. So I'm making it an inch, and then I'm going to draw where I'm going to cut. Okay, and so that leaves me my inch there. And then I'm going to fold it this way because it's just easier to work on the non-pattern side. And also, if you're working on the non-pattern side, you can see better. So now I'm just going to cut right up to that. You can draw lines if you need to, but I'm doing it by eye. Okay, right up to that. All right, and then you're going to cut on the pink line. Super easy, very fast, very quick. Okay. You're not going to see that pink line, so don't worry about it. All right, so basically what we made And you could use this to make a smaller one for a smaller notebook. But what we made is a tall H. Okay, so let's turn it this way. Okay, and then what I like to do is I like to take my glue, and just along the outside edge here, I'm going to put a thin line of glue. And this just helps make it sturdier. And that's enough, you don't need a lot. And then we're just going to put it on there. Okay, now this is where the magic happens. Okay, so we want this to be the same width as that, although it doesn't really matter because they're the same paper, so it's not going to look out of place. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this on here. Okay, place it where it needs to be, right here. You can put it anywhere you want, okay? It's up to you. And I know I want it here and here. So you have to mark where the corners are on your pin loop. And so there should be a mark here. And we're going to cut a little tiny little rectangle oval looking thing out of this. All right. You can put this on the back or the front of the folder. It's completely up to you. Does whatever you want. It's totally up to you. So I just cut a little like that and then cut in between them. And there we go. Simple. And then what you do is you slip this in here like that. Like that. So I do want this to be a better fit, so I'm going to mark it, and then I'm going to cut it because I think it'll look nicer, and of course we want it to look nice. I'm cutting on the inside of the pink line so that there's no pink showing whatsoever once I'm finished. All right, we're almost done. All right, so here we go, poking it in the hole. Okay, so see how it has that hole right there, and we're gonna put it in there. We're gonna take our glue. We are going to glue over here. Don't forget that little piece up there, and then we're gonna glue here. All right, and then get that in there nice and tight. And then we're going to go over here on this side and we're going to glue it as well. And you don't need a ton of glue, but you do want to use a good glue that is going to hold it really well. And while you have the glue out, let's do the rest of this. So real quick though, I will show you how that pen loop works. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, I was sweating it. Not really, because I've done it before. All right, so when I put this on here, I need more glue. This is not enough glue. So I'm just gonna hold it up like this, put my little nozzle in here, and squeeze. Okay, that should do it. Just push it in there really well. This glue does grip pretty quickly. I want to make sure that this is not poking out the edge there, and it's not, so I'm going to go ahead and add some glue. Just a thin line. It's best to use glue when making pockets because glue dries, tape doesn't. So if you use tape when making your pockets, whatever you stick in here will stick to the tape, and it's kind of annoying. So it's best to use glue. All right, and then over here, we're just going to add glue and glue that down. It gives us a pretty nice edge. Okay, and then we're going to add glue right here. And there you go. You have your folder. Now let's see. Let's see if she fits. Okay, so here's your folder. Also, another thing that you can do, which I didn't do, so I'll do it now, is take a piece of tape and put it on the spine. Okay, I'm just gonna wrap it around, but put it on there. It'll help reinforce it, help it last a little longer. And then you can, of course, you can cut all that off. And that's it. So now you have a folder you can stick stuff in. You have a pen loop. You have a nice looking pen loop that's not poking out and sticking out all over everything. It looks seamless. So good, so good. I love it. I love using this pen loop. So now we're going to just put this over the insert, and as you can see, it fits very well. So and it's actually slightly smaller, but that's just fine. It does not have to be exact. Remember, we're making with love, not perfection. And here we go. All right, and now we can stick our pen in here. This pen kind of gets stuck a little bit, but it fits perfectly. And now in here there's a pen loop. On a classic that doesn't have a pen loop, but now I always have a pen with my notebook, or he will, because this is his, not mine. But now I'm going to make another one, and what I'm going to do is I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to make it, and I'm going to do all the same steps, but I'm just going to do another one so that you can see again how it's done. And then you can go back and rewatch the video as many times as you need to make one along with me. Oh, this is my pen, so sorry, Mark. Okay. So I decided to cut 3 inches off of this because I need it for the pen loop, and I will make the rest of the book out of this. I hope it will work. I hope. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Alright, so there you have it. This one is a personal size. And as you can see, I made the shape of the inner pocket just a little bit different. You can plenty of things in there. And because this runs basically the length of the pocket, the pen loop does, it's nice and sturdy, and it won't rip out if you're gentle with it. I've never ripped one out, but I also am not someone who doesn't think about her movements. Like, some people don't think about it and they just move, and that's fine. I mean, that's my husband, okay? And I love my husband. You know, if you're purposeful, then this is a great option for you. And if it's in there, great. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like and subscribe, because I will be doing many more videos like this. I hope you have a fantastic day. And if you would like to see something leather related, then you can check out this video. Just check out down below, okay? I put the links down there. All right, bye. Bye-bye.